What up, y'all? It's your boy Degenerate. Today, I want to talk to y'all about investing in Bitcoin. Not trading in Bitcoin, but investing in Bitcoin. And there's a difference. Trading Bitcoin is hands-on, and I'm looking at smaller term charts. Every day I'm looking at the price of Bitcoin, and I'm making a new hypothesis of what do I think Bitcoin will do. And then you gauge your risk and your reward, and if it makes sense to you, you take the trade. And it becomes a job. But investing in Bitcoin, I think of it more of like a hobby, like a weekend. I have time, I have 5 minutes or less even. It can be as hands-on as you want it, but it doesn't really need to be that hands-on. And what I mean by that and why I believe in this is Bitcoin is capped at the creation of 21 million Bitcoin. There's never going to be 22 million Bitcoin. That's not going to inflate. But your currency from your government that you pay taxes to, they're going to print more money at the end of the year, and it's going to be released into the economy. It's going to be diluted. Your dollar loses purchasing power about 3% per year. And that gets compounded every fucking year. So if Bitcoin is staying the same supply, but your currency is raising as time goes on, this is going to take a lot more to buy the smaller amount, as long as supply and demand stay the same. There's never going to be more supply. Satoshi could come out of nowhere and just dump 500,000 Bitcoins on the market. But an institutional investor would probably buy that up. They may not. But currently, I would think so. So if you're looking at Bitcoin and you say, and I've had people ask me this in this past month especially, and I don't know how to answer y'all when you ask, is now a good time to buy Bitcoin? Because this is the chart you're fucking looking at. And you look at the monthly chart, you have 2 whole months in the whole 9 years of Bitcoin. You have 2 months that are higher, where people have paid more for Bitcoin than they have right now. 2 months. 2. Everyone else that's bought Bitcoin and is still holding their Bitcoin can dump on you at a profit. But also, this is completely new price discovery. You don't have... This could go to 200,000. It could go to 1,000,000. It could come back down to 3,000 in a month. There's nothing to say that it can't. It's just simply extracting money from the market. The market exists so that you can extract money from it. When you're talking about investing, you should have bought it back here at the beginning of 2019, but you didn't because you thought Bitcoin was going to zero. So what I'm going to recommend you do with me, um, I wouldn't recommend you to do this if I also did not do this, but you should buy Bitcoin on a dollar cost average. So when most financial advisors that I've seen put out content or JP Morgan talking about your principles for a successful retirement. They recommend you put like 10 to 30% of your income away for retirement, depending on where you are in your life and where you like what type of life you want, like what are your goals. Um, and your whole entire portfolio, it should not be made up out of Bitcoin. It's straight up, it shouldn't. It could if you really want to actively manage it. But if your whole entire retirement could be made or broken in the matter of a fucking 3 weeks, you are playing with fire there. Please don't do that. That's all I'm going to ask. But here we are, and you see price going higher. I'm going to recommend that if you have a number, let's say it's $6,000, divide that by how many months are in the year, that's 12. And then if you want to buy Bitcoin every week, or you want to divide that by every month, that's what I was just going with by the year. Make a purchase on an app like Cash App or Coinbase or any other trading app that allows you to buy it with a credit card. Fuck it. Buy Bitcoin at an average price over the time period of a greater year. Because if price comes down and you started buying in December and you quit buying January 1st here, you'd be in profit right here. You would, because most of your purchasing would be down here between 6,000 and 8,000, and then all the way down here at 3,000. And you did not buy very much at the top. And now you could dump on people for like a 30% profit right here. Does that make sense? Another thing that I see people recommend, that I see financial advisors recommend, I'm not a financial advisor, but it makes sense tax-wise, is keep in mind where you are buying Bitcoin at. And 13 months from now, when you're still following through on your game plan to dollar cost average, the week before, look, if you buy Bitcoin at the first of every month, and it's January 2020, and you started January 2019, look at December 30th or December 28th, 2019, and look at where the price of Bitcoin is. And if it's lower than where you bought in at almost a full year prior, you could sell it then, and you could take a loss on your taxes. You could say, hey, I lost that money. But if you're doing well on that sell or that buy-in that you had a year earlier, wait until a day after you've owned that asset for a year, or in this case, Bitcoin. Wait until a whole year afterwards. and then sell it. Because that gets categorized as long-term capital gains. And for almost the first, I think it's like $37,500 on your capital gains a year, long-term capital gains rather, you pay 0% tax on that versus 12% versus 20%, depending on where your income bracket is. You're going to pay more for it. And if you could have 20% tax on $40,000 versus 0%, why would you spend the extra $8,000 on taxes over the given year? Don't. Just don't do it. So hold it and wait and just don't. I think that makes sense. Just continually keep a notebook. It's not hard to open up a notebook and write down all of your trades and say, hey, January 1st, I bought 5% of a Bitcoin. February 1st, I bought 3% of a Bitcoin. Price is going up. March, I bought 1% of a Bitcoin. Price really skyrocketed. April, I bought 20%. Average it out. Do it. And then review it. And save money on your taxes. And if price is coming down, it's still in your favor. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I hope you make it long term, and I hope you reach your goals sooner rather than later. That's all I got for you.